Hello Cajon Valley family and friends. This is Superintendent David Miyashiro with a District Update 2018. If you're watching this video, then you may have received this email from me just a few minutes ago. If you have, then following the video, would you please click on cvusdconnect.edublogs.org. That will take you to the details of the stories and updates that I'm about to share with you here. So let me show you what's there first. First story is Barbara and Carrie Osterling. Carrie is our warehouse supervisor, and this is a must-see video taken by News 8 on a special adoption by the Osterlings. Please take a moment to watch that. Also is a detailed story of what could have been a class action lawsuit against the San Diego County Office of Ed in regards to PeopleSoft and Mighty implementation. Our governing board authorized me and Scott Bucksbaum to study whether or not the district would have legs in a lawsuit in regards to the breach of contract and the failed service from the county office in terms of the financial and human resources software that we were forced to buy along with the 41 other districts about 8 to 10 years ago. And so we were successful over the last couple of years to negotiate out of court a settlement with the county office that brought back millions of dollars to all the school districts outside of San Diego Unified to our general funds. And the details are here. This is something that we were fortunate to lead. The MOU is here, a letter that I sent to all superintendents in regards to that, and also the reimbursement to districts, the specific dollars amounts. The reason that's important is because in just a week from now, our governing board and cabinet, along with several district stakeholders, will be taking a team of representatives, including CVEA and CSEA, across the country to Jacksonville, to Baltimore, and then to Michigan to see some of the most innovative school districts in the country and to also talk about our strategic plan and what we plan to do with this property here next to Cajon Valley Middle School. We have a 3.5-acre lot that we could lease or we could do something for the community, and we'll be learning about some of those opportunities on this trip. None of the money for this trip is coming out of the general fund. We're using partial settlement money that I got back from the county office. The remaining balance of the money we received in the settlement will go to our one-time funds. So you'll see here, if you click on the story later, a detailed itinerary of where we're going, what we'll be doing, and there are links to the places we'll be visiting so you can see ahead of time the types of things we'll be exploring in terms of opportunities that may be beneficial to our families and community here in the East County and El Cajon. You'll also find a list of all the people attending this trip. And also, there are a couple other people joining us that are paying their own way from Coronado Unified, Cardiff School District, and our community partner, Darrell Priest. We're excited about that. You'll also see a Johnson Jaguar update. Kalina Estrinos from News 10 and Clifford the Big Red Dog visited Johnson's second graders a few weeks ago. There's a great story from Naranka, and amazing classroom observations of the world of work, presentation literacy, and system-wide change at Naranka. Flying Hills, we have a preview of their upcoming musical Seussical, and also highlights from the school. Please check out this story. There's a video of Mayor Bill Wells talking about how El Cajon is leading the way to stop homelessness, not just in East County, but for San Diego as a region. We're very proud of our city leadership and community efforts there. And then also Blossom Valley has some really cool highlights from Kirk Hoban and also from our school visit there. So please check out these highlights, and I'm going to go to our district update starting with Welcome Back to School. So back at our Welcome Back to School breakfast, I shared a little bit about my life. I shared that at a summer training, the Columbia Teachers College writing curriculum changed my life. I want to provide an update. A few people have asked, thank you. But literally, a couple years ago, this is my daughter Lane and our late dog Jackie, her first experience with death. And after Jackie passed, I was adamant that we were not going to have another pet. Not that it's too much work, but there was just a lot of emotional struggle that came with, experiencing death. But then at Columbia Teachers College, the first day back after we had a discussion about not having a pet, of course, the theme of the writing training was every kid should have a pet, and this is why. And so I texted my wife and said, I can't win. Sure, let's buy a dog and let's give Lane an opportunity to have her own puppy. And so here's the update. That's her on her first day with Penelope, and this picture on the right is just a few days ago. But so we have a dog. Anyways, back to district update. We have this mission of making El Cajon and Cajon Valley the best place to live, work, play, and raise a family. And a mission of our vision of happy kids engaged in healthy relationships on a path to gainful employment. And we recognize that that's not the case now. It's something that we have to intentionally change in order to have those outcomes. 43,000 people not working or not going to school in San Diego County, and a large sum of those people are right here in the East County. Disengaged youth aged 16 to 24, both not working and not in school, and not okay. And so our mission and vision to create the best place to live, work, play, and raise a family and have happy kids and healthy relationships gainfully employed is really to bridge the gap between education and the world of work. Our system was designed by the Committee of 10 in 1892. They're not going to reconvene. All these gentlemen are long gone. But we have the Committee of 5, and they've commissioned us to do this work, to pursue different metrics, and to focus on opportunities to return hope, engagement, and relevance to the classroom. And so here's our 2018 update. Starting with PeopleSoft and Mighty. I think most of us have experienced errors in our paychecks, in payroll, had difficulty logging in at some point because the system was shut down. For our district office team that work in IT, HR, and fiscal services, they've had to deal with the nightmare that the county has provided to us for the last almost latter half of the decade. And so we've spent literally over $1 million on this broken system, and recently I led a charge with 41 other superintendents to settle not a class action lawsuit, but an out-of-court settlement, returning 25% of our initial investment, and also a stop payment on the maintenance fees. In addition to, we're going to gain control over the subcommittee that controls the future implementation of Mighty and PeopleSoft. And this is a list of the remuneration for each district that we were able to negotiate on behalf of all 41 school districts. Quite a large sum of money. And that sum of money that Cajon Valley is getting back is going to fund the CVUSD Governing Board Strategic Planning Edutour. We're taking representatives from CVEA, CSEA, a handful of principals, and some folks from facilities and maintenance, and some people from Ed Services to look at our mission and vision and really start to solidify live, work, play, raise a family, and healthy, happy kids gainfully employed as our new goalpost and targets for district-wide success. The other thing we're going to be looking at is we have a property right here adjacent to Cajon Valley Middle School on Park and Ballantyne, and we were looking at leasing it. We could probably get about $13,000 or $14,000 a month if we were to lease it, and that would bring a steady revenue stream back to the district. But what we're planning to explore on the Edutour is some other innovations where Baltimore County Schools and Fraser Public Schools in Michigan looked at joint use of facilities that provided something for students, but also provided something for the community in terms of economic and prosperity needs. And so one of the stops on our tour in Baltimore will be to the Foundry. It's a maker space where members can come in and learn a trade or learn a skill and also build some cool stuff at a very low cost. OpenWorks is another place in Baltimore that has a partnership with the Baltimore County Public School System, and it's another co-working space with a different type of model where the community and the kids in the Baltimore area can benefit. We've also already visited as a governing board WeWork, which is a new type of millennial workspace where folks can have the benefits of a Google-type work environment with food and beverages and infrastructure and internet without having to buy or own a building, kind of like Uber is to transportation, WeWork is to working spaces. There's a high demand for this in the East County, as a lot of folks drive hours up to 52 just to drive back home an hour later, whereas an opportunity like this might provide meaningful workspace for people living right here in the East County. So these are some of the ideas we're looking at. Fraser School District here in Michigan is, in my opinion, the best school district I've seen in the country, outside of Cajon Valley, of course. But in particular at the high school, kids are dual enrolled. They're learning in a competency-based framework that allows them to really move at their own pace. Kids are earning partial degrees from Michigan State and Kent State and junior colleges as early as 8th grade without incurring debt. And they're learning about the world of work in the context of having a job, and learning about financial literacy and well-being in the context of having a paycheck and having real wages and taxes to look at and to save. The other part of our trip is in Jacksonville, and there's a one-day conference called the National Conference on Digital Convergence. I'm a board member for the National Council, and here we'll be looking at a framework to help us look at our initiatives in presentation literacy, the world of work, literacy for all, and ELD, and really help teachers understand what it is that we're expecting at the classroom level. We've had a lot of great success in initiatives, but I've heard a lot of ambiguity about, well, what's actually expected of me? What will constitute success if I'm doing the world of work correctly? And we owe it to all staff to provide that clarity and be clear about what expectations are. And at the end of our trip, we want to come back and have clear expectations both for classroom practice, but also what those metrics are that will really show if we are creating the best place to live, work, play, and raise a family, and if our kids truly are happy, engaged in healthy relationships, and building a path to gainful employment. And so the curriculum, the stuff, the what, we've already predetermined. And this year is an experimental year. It's an exploration year where we're trying level 1s and level 2s and letting principals have discretion about where staff will jump in the world of work. But in 2018-19, the expectation is that Sanford Harmony, Code.org, TED Ed, and World of Work will be in full swing in all of our classrooms. So we also need to look at, are we providing enough opportunity for our teachers and support staff, the training and opportunity to learn and feel proficient and ready to fully implement in 2018-19. And we'll be exploring some of those opportunities when we come back from this trip. So again, Sanford Harmony, social emotional learning, every kid building healthy relationships, presentation literacy, a world of work skill, but also a social emotional learning skill, computer science, and this is a moving target. It's not just about learning code, but as machine learning and artificial intelligence and new innovations come, our kids, our students now, and even us in the classroom are going to need to learn these new technologies and understand where they're going, what's powering them, and how we stay relevant in the current and future world of work. And lastly, our hallmark item is the world of work curriculum, both print and digital, and creating hope, engagement, and relevance in showing kids that the reason they're reading this or learning this skill is really it's connected to something that's going to matter to them in the future. One thing that's significant is at our last governing board meeting, our governing board decided to move away from the Anti-Defamation League as a solution for social emotional learning in our middle schools. And they commissioned us this evening to partner with Eddieware to develop social emotional learning connected to the world of work. And you see here in this mission of me on the icon on the left, 3 core processes. And the social emotional side will come into helping students tell their story, understanding the stories of others, and really building a true self-awareness in strengths, interests, and values of themselves, but also appreciating that in their peers, and creating intentional conversations at the beginning of each period and day so that kids can talk, connect, and engage with one another and the teachers in a positive way. Those classrooms that have started by implementing Sanford Harmony have seen a significant decrease in bad behavior and a significant increase in positive peer relationships. And that's the goal. We teach kids how to be in healthy relationships now so that they can be in healthy relationships as adults. Another exciting opportunity is one of our World of Work partners, Illumina, has invited us back to co-create World of Work work tasks level 1, level 2 simulations and videos with their scientists. And here on this chart, there are lots of types of career opportunities in a company like Illumina, not just at the biotech level or from science, but in sales and customer service and advertising. And they're very excited for their company to become part of our world of work and have our students to start to see possibilities to them right here in San Diego in some of the best companies in the world. And so in March, they've invited 12 teachers to come to work with their scientists and their geneticists to develop some relevant work tasks and career cards that'll be part of our World of Work ecosystem. So this week we're going to be looking for middle school science teachers who have explored with the World of Work, and also our elementary teachers who have a passion for science or are teaching science in a content area that have also explored some World of Work and have an understanding of the framework to help co-create and visit this amazing campus and enjoy really learning from the best in the field. Another exciting opportunity for us is the ASU GSV conference. It stands for Arizona State Meets Global Silicon Valley, and it's the conference in the country in terms of ed tech, education, and the future of work. Normally, this conference costs $26,095. They've made it free to several of us who are going to be presenting on panels, and also for principals who are willing to host a school tour. We'll be reaching out to principals this week to solidify who will be on the ASU GSV school tour on Monday, April 16th. We're looking for schools that have taken a deep dive into district initiatives, specifically in the world of work, so that our attendees can see firsthand what it looks like when kids have a strong understanding of themselves and their future and connect their education to something meaningful in terms of a pathway to gainful employment. And this conference has some of the best keynote speakers in terms of the future of work and gainful employment and ed tech. We also anticipate about 100 or so top educators from across the country coming to learn from our classrooms, along with venture capitalists who could be customers for our World of Work curriculum and help start that revenue stream of dollars back into our general fund. And one more exciting thing is metrics. We talked about how do we measure if we're actually succeeding with creating happy kids and healthy relationships. What shows that? This evening, the governing board approved a contract with Gallup, who is the industry leader in not just surveys and data collection, but also culture and climate, and making companies the best place to work. Deloitte, Southwest Airlines, and some of the top Fortune 500 companies have partnered with Gallup to truly make their employee experience the best they can be. And it's something we want here in El Cajon and Cajon Valley. We want Cajon Valley School District to be the best place for work for all of us, classified, certificated, and management. And so we're going to be building a culture of strengths, engagement, and performance development here. Tim Hodges, the Director of Research, was here yesterday. He met with the governing board, and we went through some of the options with Gallup, and tonight we signed a contract to bring them into our district. It's very exciting. The Gallup student poll, which we will now have complete access to, truly does measure student engagement. It measures hope. And when you take hope plus engagement, that's relevance and happiness. It also measures career financial literacy and entrepreneurial aspirations, which are directly correlated to the world of work. So we'll see in real time this year, this spring, how our kids are doing in terms of building self-awareness, building hope, and really starting to understand their RIASEC theme codes and where their unique place in the world might be in terms of employment. Very exciting. So nationally, and this is national average of 5th through 12th graders, and you see as kids, it starts out very high in primary school, but by the time 5th grade, student engagement and hope in terms of school starts to decline. And by 9th grade, you start to see high school dropouts and disengagement. This is what we aim to correct when we talk about, what's middle school for. Middle school is not about preparing kids for high school. It should be about maintaining the hope and engagement that they began elementary school with, so that by the time they get to high school, they're thoroughly engaged. We have to do a better job of the root cause of why kids check out of school or feel like it's not relevant to them. And so this is actually our data. We are at this point ahead of the national curve in terms of engagement. And 64% is good compared to the national average, but we can do better. And we'll be able to see in real time this year and next year and years after that how we're doing in terms of bringing hope, engagement, and relevance to our students. And that's our district update. I know there's been lots of change here in Cajon Valley. I attribute that to our ability to think and our level of intelligence. And whereas most districts are going to be doing the same thing and are going to be trying to incrementally improve their already outdated system, here in Cajon Valley we're painting a picture and telling a story of what school could look like in the United States and really make a difference for kids in terms of their happiness, their level of engagement, their relationships, and their gainful employment. Anyways, until next time, thanks very much and have a good night.